Hello again, everybody. I am Gary Gonzo. Welcome to Race First coverage of Championship Saturday, round 11, or actually now round 12 of the 40 RACEWEAR Saturday IndyCar Open Series Strength of Field race for Season 1 of 2024, coming to you from POCONO Raceway. As always, joining me in the booth for expert analysis, he's my IndyCar teammate and a regular participant in the Indy Fix Series. Please welcome Antonio Estrada, live from Mexico City, and also joining us, he's a regular participant in the IIS. You'll recognize him on the track from his purple self-sponsored Dallara. Please welcome Charlie Sears. So, gentlemen, we're at one of the crown jewels, and despite being one of the crown jewels ovals, this is not really one of the easiest places to drive. It's a common problem. 3 different turns, 3 different radiuses, 3 different bankings. How do you set up for this place?
Yeah, 3 different problems, right?
Right.
And hello everybody. Thanks for joining Racewear's coverage of POCONO here for the Indy Open Series. How do you set up for that? Well, you really need to take them all into account. You have all different kind of banking for these corners. You really want to play with that wing and make sure that the angle is the right one. But on the other hand, you also need to take into account the temperature of the tire. Today, it's at 88 Fahrenheit, which is not the highest that we've seen, but I think that's going to allow for a little bit of packy racing, at least for the start. And, the other part about Pocono typically is a lot about strategy. You can try and short pit and get in front of some of the others. But then there's also the little bit of risk in doing that.
Mm-hmm.
The fun part about this is that you can pretty much race anywhere. You can take the very top on turn 1, the very bottom, and you're going to be able to make moves. The tail turn, you can go side by side. And then on turn 3, you can essentially go wherever you want. You can go all the way to the inside, or you can build a lot of momentum on the outside, taking it through the top. And, that's also going to give us a lot of great battles, I can imagine.
It'll be interesting to see how everyone set their car up for those different approaches. So we might, like you said, with the cold track temperatures, see a lot of really close racing. It's a very draft-heavy track, going down from 3 into 1 and 1 into 2. So it'll be great to see folks get side by side. And like you said, the pit strategy might come into play here, and cautions are likely to come out with how close everyone will be racing.
Only 17 cars in the split, but we have a monster strength of field, 4.5K, stronger even than our Tuesday night race at Michigan. So that's pretty impressive. We are going to crown a champion today. Right now, the points leader is Adam Blocker. Currently watching the speeds come in. Marco Brazil, good old MAB. He is there with a 220.4. At the top of the charts provisionally, with about a minute remaining here to play in qualifying. Just a reminder, if anyone tells you any different, they just don't know anything about Pocono. Turn 1 is Trenton, Turn 2 Indianapolis, Turn 3 is Milwaukee. That's exactly what they were modeled after. If someone says that Turn 3 is modeled after Flat Homestead, they just don't know what they're talking about. So, of the IndyCar records that matter here, the USAC track record set by Formula One veteran Peter Revson, driving McLaren Racing in 1973, with a top lap of 190.468. Kart track record was set here their last visit in '89 with Emerson Fittipaldi, also of F1 fame, driving for Patrick Ganassi Racing at the time with a speed of 211.715. The current track record held by Juan Pablo Montoya, driving for Team Penske in 2014 and with a speed of 223.8. And we're just about 2 miles per hour off that pace here in these IR18s. Your career wins leaders here in the IndyCar world: AJ Foyt with 4, Rick Mears, Will Power, each tied with 3. Danny Sullivan, Alan Unser Sr., Bobby Unser each have 2. Every race here at Pocono has been a 500-miler, so keep in mind that Will Power's 3 of his 5 career 500-mile wins came here at Pocono. Just putting that in perspective for history and how good he is. With that said, it's time to go racing, and we're getting ready to grid up here for today's starting lineup, coming to you from Pocono.
All right, with a monster lap, we have Christopher Demerit from Team I5G on the pole. He is joined by Jason Brophy from private label Team Hype. Then in row 2, we can find another of the I5G guys, David Obster, the Warman. He's going to be starting P3. He is joined by Andreas Ike. Then in row 3, we can find Marco Aurelio Brazil, bringing in the Brazilian representatives to the top 5. He is joined by Adam Blocker from Powerslide, a little bit slower than I would imagine that Blocker would be there. Row 4, we can find Rashad Craig from IAR, and then we also have Andrew Marquez. Row 5, we can find Jesper Orman, also from IAR, and Matt Taylor. In row 6, we can find Edson Santos. He is joined by Olivier Simeneau. Then in row 7, Robin Glinix, and he is joined by Mark Murphy, our very own Mark Murphy. Row 8 finds Nelson Messias, the gas man. He is joined by Richard Vasquez, who didn't set a qualifying time, and then bringing the rear, it's Will Sears, who also didn't set a qualifying time. A pretty stacked field here, and a lot of folks that I would imagine would be a little bit higher, but there is only so many places that these guys can be. They are all really, really good here.
And we got the old family row there with Uncle Rob and cousin Mark.
Yeah, there we go. I'm wondering, how it's gonna happen today, because earlier in the week we saw that private label Team Hype had a very, very strong car, like a very, very strong setup. I'm sure the other teams went ahead and did a couple of adjustments here and there. So we'll see how Team I5G has done it. They have they have strength in numbers, right?
Oh,
they have
yeah.
Jacob and Prismari there, and Brophy's on his own. So yeah, interesting.
It looks like they're trying to line up 3 wide in the old-fashioned days here, but watching currently Jason Brophy on the screen. Jason won the ERL race here, which was a 500-mile fixed race on Thursday by the narrowest of all margins over a fellow broadcasting mate, Nick Sudik. That was a great race. Check that out on the ERN Elite Racing Network and their ERL Warriors for Peace IndyCar Series race here at Pocono. I'm now part of that staff and called that race. But yeah, the I5G guys here are in power. We see Team Talent here. They're going to be tough to beat. The private label guys are going to be tough to beat. We know the Power Slide guys are going to be tough to beat. Anybody else there that we should be watching out for that you think might have a good shot here, Charlie?
No, I think you called it. It's going to be really interesting seeing all those teams going for it. And like you pointed out earlier, this is for the championship, right? It's a close race to the finish. So getting those wins in the strength of field race is going to be critical to bring that virtual trophy home.
Well, it is a virtual world, but those virtual trophies mean an awful lot. And some of these setups are closely guarded secrets, like even more closely guarded secrets than country secrets. So here we go. Field is under command of Christopher Demerit, bringing him up to speed. We are green, underway here for 85 laps at Pocono.
And I don't think we're going to see all the fanning out that would typically happen. These guys know that it's a long race. So I'm sure that at least at the beginning it's going to be a little bit more chill. But we'll find out how grippy it is. And if it's going to be packy, then I can imagine that a lot of them are going to start moving forward a little bit, but also being quite cautious.
Going too wide into 2 already. Not a good idea. Andreas Ike up high into 2, trying to get clean air.
But I can see that Demerit and Oster, they're already trying to swap the lead. That's a really good thing. And it can realistically get you away from the pack. Depends on the conditions, and a lot of factors must come in. But it can potentially be done. Yep, there goes Demerit.
Jesper Orman already up 2 spots. Good start for him. To no one's surprise, really. He's, wreck in the back. Uncle Rob. Uncle Rob's involved, and the gas man has continued to still roll there.
Yeah.
And that's it for Nelson Messias. That's too bad. We've become a big fan of Nelson based upon his massive fuel saving win at Indy Fixed Dover race. And he is out for the day. Let's take a look and see possibly in the Wayback Machines here what happened here with this incident. I think Uncle Rob might have been involved. I'm not sure how much he was involved.
Looks like Rob came up a little bit high, or may have been
ran out of room. Just ran out of room.
Yeah. I mean, you could potentially chuck it to a racing incident, but I think Rob came up at that point. Like, it's super early. You're gonna get past. It's fine. Just leave to fight another battle. But it is what it is, and we have thinning the herd here. Down to 15.
Well, we're down to one more. Uncle Rob's now down on pit road there. He's getting a replacement front wing and some service. Hopefully he will get back into it. But under caution here, lap 3. Thanks for everyone for joining us. Make sure to smash the thumb. Give us a good like there. We'd appreciate that. And subscribe if you haven't done so already. Click the bell so you miss out on weekly reminders of other, now it's almost daily reminders of other iRacing programming here on Race First. Thanks for joining us. Also, make sure if you haven't done so already, this is our last Indy Open broadcast for this season. If you have not donated already to the broadcast, check out our GoFundMe link in the description. Today would be the last chance for this season to donate to the broadcast fund. We would really appreciate that if you could. We do realize times are tough, and anything that you can send our way is greatly appreciated. Adam Blocker going to pump fake. Who's going to go to pit road? Matt Taylor.
Yeah, that's I imagine, and in the Open Series you do not have any limit to the tires, so you can go ahead and do a full service here. Realistically, what he's looking for is the fuel mileage, so he's going to be able to go a couple laps further than anybody else. But we'll see how that pays off. I think it's way too early, and it's not going to make a lot of difference. But if you're in the back of the pack, might as well take tires and fuel.
Right, exactly. And just, in these 3 or 4 laps that he's going to overlap the on the different pit strategy here, what if a caution comes out during that period? He all of a sudden now has made the 3,000 IQ call.
Yeah.
Looks like Rob may have a bit more damage than just that wing. He's been in the pit for about 2 minutes now, so
might add some
work they're doing there. It's gonna probably slow him down quite a bit, so we'll see if he ends up coming back out. But usually if it's more than just that wing, these cars are pretty fragile when they do take damage. So hopefully he can get back out and join the race, but we'll see.
Yeah, the big thing is if he can track straight or track right at speed. If you're not tracking right, even remotely crabbing in these cars, it's just, especially with these 3 turns, each one being different, you might make it through one of them, but you're probably not going to make it through all 3 of them.
Yeah, and you're right, Charlie. That's a good call. I think he's missing his right side butt, which is definitely not ideal. So we'll see, first of all, how long it takes his crew to repair that car, and then to see if it's even drivable, like you were saying, Gary. Profi and Asta are taking the service road there.
Yeah.
Sure, they're playing around, but...
Yeah, well, you think about it. That is a shorter way around, and they are saving precious drops of fuel. Now we're having fun on the front straight. We knew that if he wasn't going to pit the first time, we know he's not going to pit the second time, so he does another pump fake to the inside. No one else has followed through. Brophy's still third. MAB is fourth. Ike, and now we're back down to the bottom trying to save fuel, which, that in the move by itself is not a bad idea. It really isn't. I think you would see more people do that. You don't really have to worry about in sim a dirty racetrack per se, picking up loose objects down there, getting a puncture, that type of thing. And you can run down there and save some precious drops. Now, how much drops is it saving?
I mean, I've lost, I've been out of fuel with a couple of yards or whatever to get to the line, so every single drop matters. And I just saw that Vasquez, Simenu, and Will Stearns, they all went ahead and pitted.
Yep.
So now we have
noticed that one. Yeah.
Guys in that strategy, being able to run a little bit further than our leaders. But yeah, man, if you can save anything, and I can imagine, Charlie, you're in the same boat. I'm always saving fuel whenever there's a caution. I'm map 8. I have the clutch in. I'm trying to use the throttle as little as I can and to go the shortest way around.
Absolutely. It's all about managing that risk of when might something happen, what could you get away with? An extra tenth of a liter might be the end of running out of fuel, coming out of turn 3 and trying to push it to the line. You may end up not needing to save anything. You may save 100th of a second on your last pit stop just by having saved more fuel. But every little advantage you can get, that's what these guys are looking for out there, and just trying to do everything to push it further and further and make that advantage stick or take an advantage on their opponents.
Sure.
Getting ready to go green, lap 6. And we're back underway. Demerit bringing in the green. We're back. Single file right now, down the one. No one's popping out quite yet. Mark Murphy's kind of sucking up in the draft behind Edson Santos there. I thought maybe he would poke out. Blocker getting a big run on Ike. To the inside, going into the tunnel turn 2. This looks like it might be a position for Blocker. Let's see how much Ike fights. Ike is going to fight for it. He's going to stay there.
I gotta say, the outside is quite powerful there.
Jacob Oster taking the lead there coming out of turn 2 on Christopher. Jason Brophy actually got a pass on Oster coming out of 1, so really interesting to take the lead there, but it looks like Christopher might be taking that back.
Blocker still to the inside.
Brophy poked out, trying to make it 3 wide for the lead. He actually takes it. And Blocker is also able to clear Ike there. So I think from what we're seeing right now, it's going to be packed. These guys are not going to be able to get away from each other. Blocker is able to really suck in behind Marco Aurelio Brazil. And now all of a sudden we have the top 5 under a blanket. And maybe moving on Oster, move him up to 3rd. That's, I'm not sure that they're going to be... Oh, Blocker now making a move on Oster as well. Demerit going to 4, I believe.
And maybe a little bit of a Pruitt fade on Blocker down the front straight there a little bit. Esper Orman sticking out there. And maybe to the high side around Blocker, up to 3rd for him. Blocker 4th.
And look at them find out here on entry of 3. You could see that Oster was taking all the way to the outside. That's where the cleaner is. That's what you want to do. Then you also want to suck up on the guy in front. And, that's what makes this play so fun. You can run wherever you want, and you're going to be able to make time.
It is tough to pull off that pass on the front stretch when everyone's in single file. If you pop out, you do not have 8 of that draft. Blocker way down to the outside, 3 wide.
You can certainly make a 2 wide work through there, but a 3 is just never going to work.
We saw in the ERL, go 3 wide there, 2 rows deep late in that race, and it did not. You're right, 100% did not work out there very well. The Scandinavians fight it out for 6th and 7th. Ike and Orman. Orman with a run on the high side. High side out of 1 is very powerful.
Yeah, I would say typically the outside or the high line in all of them is, there goes
There goes that 3 wide.
Blocker
to the front. Bold move.
We were talking about, making it 3 wide in the channel turn was not going to work. Blocker
prove it wrong
to make it work.
Look, if it was any other split with any other 3 drivers, probably that's not working.
I'm sure it wasn't going to work. Yeah.
There's a lot of respect given there, so that's how you make it work. It's not everyone trying to take the inside and take the middle there. So that was great. If you're going to run 3 wide.
And early in the run, before the tires are too much worn off. I mean, they're not. The tires. If you ask the drivers now, I'm sure the drivers will come back and say these. Oh, Jacob Oster almost got side checked, taking evasive action. If you ask the guys now, these tires are pretty much I will just say the word crap, maybe, or at least halfway there. But still, to get through there with real worn tires, 3 wide, is pretty impressive. But again, a testament to the ability of these drivers. Blocker down low underneath Brophy, getting the pass, bring him up to first again. Demerit back in third, MAB fourth, Jacob Oster fifth. Brophy to the inside again. Brophy, let's see, he had 85, this is an 85 lap race, so he did 85 laps on Monday, 200 laps here on Thursday, and another 85 laps here today. You think Brophy's done enough laps here, guys?
Nah, he should practice more.
All the way to the front, practice more, Jason Brophy.
Nah, I mean, that's great. These guys are so good at their craft, and, doing and repeating and doing repetitions and doing laps, that's always going to be super valuable for them. Although they already have thousands of laps from prior seasons, and they're really good and they're showing it, and that's why they are up front day in and day out. I don't even know where to look now. I also see Jesper trying to make it by Jacob Oster. Jacob trying to catch with Marco Aurelio Brasil, who we saw got super loose off of 2 and almost collected Jacob. There's a lot of battles happening.
Yeah. Just keep the camera kind of on this lead 4. That's where the action. Brazil going to follow through Blocker, but he's going to wash up. I'm wondering how much downforce Brazil has on that car. We know he likes to run them free, but even the free range horses, they need to ring in every now and then. So we'll see if he has some downforce on that car to stick up with the leaders. If you don't have any downforce on these cars, even on a big super speedway like this, all he's going to do is really tear up those tires. Orman up to 4th. And he'll want to make quick work of MAB. MAB is a pump fake to the inside.
But MAB is no slouch. He's not going to give up. He's going to fight for absolutely every single position, and that's just how he is. I also wanted to bring something up. The setup that was provided by iRacing is also pretty competitive. You can hang on to the back of this field without the need of having a super complex setup, and that's testament to the things that the community has been doing in order to get us a little bit more closer, and to make sure that folks can be doing that.
Boys, we're gonna go 3 wide in the 1. MAB down low, Brophy in the middle, and Blocker wisely, I think, decided to take defensive action there. Now MAB to the lead. He's going to do a bit of the... I don't know why you need to do the snake this early on. But now he's going to be trapped down low, up high, riding along with Jesper Orman, following in the tire tracks of Jason Brophy. Now Orman is well engaged in this battle. Brophy up high, very high in turn 3. Orman looking down low, trying to get the draft of MAB. Now he's draftless. Now, if MAB comes down, he's going to definitely be helping out Orman. Orman, oh, he's very slippery. Up to the lead.
Yeah, Orman's just sitting back there for a bit, it seemed. Maybe just saving those tires while everyone else is battling up front, and then, has the grip to pull that into turn 1. The draft obviously helping there, but MAB grabbing turn 2 here.
Yeah, MAB is not going to give up. We saw him doing a little bit of the snake, which, it's too early in the race for that, but, that's kind of his driving style. He's like, I got the lead, I'm not going to lose it.
I always love when someone's trying the snake this early in the race, and you can just sit back, let someone dive to the inside and try and break the draft. The track is fast enough, it's not going to help that much. It's going to stop and pass this race.
Yeah. Well, I always thought of it was they were scrubbing off speed unnecessarily, especially at this track.
Yep.
Exactly.
And maybe the inside of Orman into the tunnel turn, Indianapolis turn. Clear and put MAB back to the lead. Orman, Brophy, and Blocker. And we got a Rashad Craig in the wall off of turn 2. We are back under caution. Everyone's going to pit here. Let's see what happened.
Oh, no. that actually collected a lot of cards. Andreas Ike, Richard Craig.
Ike Craig.
And I think either Andrew Marquez or
Andrew
Matt
Marquez is in that one too.
From the Madworks racing team. Oh man.
Let's ride along with Marquez. He is definitely a veteran. We don't see him a lot on the split races as much as we used to. We enjoy seeing him though. And here he is. We're 2 wide going into turn 2. We talked about how dangerous that is. Oh, just the lightest tap. Nowhere to go. Nowhere to go. Nowhere to hide.
I wonder if Craig just washed up a bit, getting a bit of that downforce away from Oster right in front of him. It was otherwise a pretty good, clean line. He just kind of came up, and there was just no room with Ike up top.
Yeah, from his car communication, Rashad was actually apologizing to Ike, so I'm sure he did a tiny bit. But yeah, at this point of the race, tires are worn. You're not going to be getting the same kind of exit speed, and I would chalk it up more to a racing incident, and part of the nature of the racing in these conditions and being so close to each other. So it's unfortunate, but it is what it is. It's kind of what you're signing up for when you're racing at Pocono.
Yeah, it's always likely to happen, especially with that the fastest turn on the track, especially you've got that big run out of 1. But that's quite the wreck. But looking at Craig's in-car, he looks like he's trying to get a little bit more rotation out of the car. He's adding a little bit more input, downshifting even further than you'd kind of expect out of that exit of 2. So he's aware of that car on the outside and just slipped out. That's an unfortunate incident, but like you said, that happens. That's definitely a racing incident.
So Olivier Simoneau is staying out, going to pick up the lead, not going to pit here. Olivier has 15-lap-old tires, so he's on this is one of the early stoppers.
Yep. Yeah,
so
he's one of those guys.
Yep, he is going to, or they are going to at least go on to their own strategy now. MAB makes it out of the pits ahead of everyone for P2. Looking in chat, Uncle Rob says there was nowhere near enough room to try a pass, even with a run. I overestimated aggressiveness. We all make mistakes, Uncle Rob. We understand. We hate to see you out that early. Let's put it that way. So definitely, drivers. Everybody kind of this level realizes when it was their oops over somebody else. Now, I'm not saying that we're going to see later in this race somebody blaming somebody else for another wreck, but most everyone, at least when they recognize that there was an issue, they typically own up to it here, at least in the in this particular series. So hard to see Uncle Rob out early. There are still Ike and Craig are still in the pits, but I believe they're done. Marquez is done, so we're now down to 12 cars, and we're 20 laps into this thing. We're seeing a pretty close field. Yeah.
Simoneau looks like only wanted to lead a lap.
Okay.
As he's now pitting, and this time it's not going to really make any difference. But,
no.
That's fine. Just going back to that incident that Rob had with Nelson. Yeah, I think it's more of a racing deal kind of thing than anything. It's too early. It was too early to be making those kind of aggressive moves, and the space just closes itself. There was an opening at some point, but it closed. It happens. But yeah, now it changes strategy a little bit because we are 21 laps in. Tanks typically last around 29, maybe 30 laps if you're doing some saving. So we should be able to make it on one more pit stop from here. Maybe they're going to need to save a tiny bit of fuel, but we should be, for the most part, good to go. Charlie, what are your thoughts, man?
It'll be interesting to see. There have been a lot of, 2 yellows so far, with only 21 laps into the race. I think you're right. We'll be able to push it, and it'll really start to reward those drivers that are staying in the draft, saving that fuel, being able to lift a little bit earlier, being able to eke that extra lap out from those fighting for first place. That's what I tend to think of when I do see folks constantly swapping for first is, now you're sitting in fresh air, you're burning a lot more fuel there. You can switch to a different engine mode sitting in back and keep up on this track pretty heavily. So easily a one-stopper, but I wouldn't be surprised if there was another yellow thrown.
Lights are out on the pace car. Everyone's getting into the restart position. Up against the wall, Marco Aurelio Brazil. MAB will be bringing us up to speed here. We'll be going green at lap 22, 85, 212 and a half miles today. That's what the Open Series runs. And he gets a good jump at it. MAB to the lead, maintaining the lead, going into one, lap 22 of 85. We're back green.
Great jump by MAB there. He got a lot of distance between himself and everybody else. But again, since it's a packing race, they're going to be able to catch back up really quickly. So Orman's closing it right now. He doesn't want to lead.
Blocker with the purple lap of 40.9 earlier in the race. That's a 220.3. He's few cars are in a 220 range, but most everyone comfortably in the 219 neighborhood.
Yeah, but what Orman just did tells me that he's trying to save just a tiny bit of fuel. Like, typically you would try and pass the guy in front. Right now, he's like, okay, I'm going to chill behind this guy.
He's comfortably staying in the draft and then just taking a line slightly outside of maybe going into one there. So definitely fuel saving, but grabbing that grip from the clean air going into the turns to make sure not to overheat those tires by just staying in the draft. That's the other game you're kind of playing there.
Yeah, and the same goes for Blocker. He had a massive run on the backstretch and didn't really do anything with it. He lifted. Same for the Merit. And I think Jacob Usser really wants to go, but there's nowhere he can right now. So.
And you watch washing out the rear of Jesper Orman's car. Blocker getting a good run on the straight and then kind of just like rolling out of it. Just like you said, you're going to see another run here down the Long Pond straight. Here he is, going to come right up to him and then kind of roll out of it.
Yep. That is textbook fuel saving. And you can be in a higher fuel map, not burning as much. And
Mark
then
Taylor to the inside of Oster, trying to look for a spot in the top five. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. Yeah, I noticed watching that shot out from the back of Oster's car, that purple car, the Mad Works team, making his way up through the traffic there. Doesn't have anyone to draft with right now on the front straight, but he is trying now to get to fourth underneath Blocker.
But that goes to further, accentuate that fuel-saving mode that these guys are going through. There is no way you should be able to go side by side with no drafting partner and make it all the way to actually make passes on the inside on turn one. He's up to third. Vince Matt, he's not saving fuel at this moment. He's trying to go for it, and all these other guys are just happy to be riding around, which is part of the strategy.
Oster to the inside of MAB. Couldn't quite get there to get the pass started. Gave a look there. Now Taylor in the run. We see Brophy popping out in the back there.
Now Mark Murphy is making some moves there. Passing Oster and the Merit in the same corner. They're up to fifth.
Matt Taylor seems to be kind of tucking in behind Orman here, doing that fuel save. So that move over those few laps may just have been for field position. So if another yellow does come out, Matt's not having to sort of deal with dodging that, but only looking at two cars in front of him right now.
Now that third car, they have a difficult job because the second car and the first car can swap very easily and not necessarily get taken out by the aero wash. Well, that third car is just getting leveled with it, and here comes Mark Murphy to the bottom.
That's also looking a little further down the field. Will Stern he was very close to having that tiny bit of contact there with Jason Brock.
Everybody, Santos! Vasquez.
No caution.
Vasquez got into that one. Santos in that one. Marquez is back underway. Stearns, he is limping. He's going to come home. You're right, no cautions, but we have a Well, a thinner field now. MAB still the leader.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I'm not sure what Will was trying to do there. I saw him get a little anxious there and almost select Brophy the corner prior to the accident, and then there was no way that he was going to be able to make it. He just kept going on, and unfortunately touched the back of Vasquez there, and that's all she wrote.
The tune of the engine. Is it me or the tune of the engines doesn't sound as intense right now? I think everybody's in fuel conservation now. All of a sudden, super fuel conservation.
Look at that move from Brophy. He was able to everybody because, like you said, they are all saving fuel. So now we're down to, what is it, 8? Yeah, realistically 8 that are fighting for this win. They're all close together.
Brophy just from the mid-pack to the lead. We really are looking at our, Mark rolling out of it. I think we're now in super fuel conserve mode, trying to make this in one more stop. We're realistically looking at 9 cars remaining in this race. Pretty much all of them are together. Vasquez just retired on pit road. Here is Mark to the inside. Going to get a little help, but arrow wash from Brophy. Now he's on the exit of 2 on the high side. Down the long pond straight. Brophy taking a little defensive position on the inside. I really don't think Orman is going to fight him. That's the second time I'm trying to call him Oster. Sorry, Jesper. Listen to Mark, just how he was feathering it through the short straight there between 2 and 3. They are not at 100% throttle. There's impossible. They are not at 100% throttle. Here he is again. Take a look at the inside. MAB. Mark. Oh, he's going to steam forward. Rolling out of it.
So to make it work.
The position on MAB. Move him up to 3rd. Yeah, he would try to go to 6th. Try to go to 6th. Didn't have enough revs to really effectively run 6th. Got to bog down the car a little bit, down to 5th. Big push.
Man. A little concerned about Will Stearns that he still, came into the pits, changed tires, is now back, but it's back in the pack, and that's fine, but he's kind of fighting them, which is what I don't really understand.
New tires makes everyone strong right now. He might be a little damaged, and everyone I think is going conservative. That might be helping the pace. I mean, I'm looking at entry speeds into 2 there, and along the lines of 215. Should be closer to 220 going in that corner. Exit speeds here coming off more in the low 200s. Should be 205, 206, 207 coming off the corners at least. Now big run down the front straight. He got to 220s and then now rolled out of it by the time he got to the corner. There's that tight group. We'll do a reset here. Brophy, your leader. Jesper Orman is P2. Mark Murphy, P3. MAB, P4. Matt Taylor has worked his way up 5 spots. He is P5. Adam Blocker, the Dark Knight, is sitting back there in 6, biding his time. Christopher Demerit's P7. Jacob Oster, the Warm Man, he is in points contention right now in this points championship. Blocker pretty much has it sealed up. Blocker currently with a 1538 lead, 1538 in terms of points, 1,538 points over Kevin Burrell, who's not in today's lineup, who had 1,382. And with the strength of field accelerator that we're going to have on this one, I don't know if we're going to have another strength of field race stronger than this later in the week. So this could be a championship sealer for Blocker right here. But Burrell with a 13.82, Rashad Craig with a 12.56, his race is done. Jacob Oster with a 12.30, he's still in this, so the battle for P3 in the championship is real. And Oster is right there, top 8 right now. I suspect when we get closer into the later stages of this race, he will not be there. I expect to see him up at the front. Andrew Marquez, P5 in the championship. Of course, he is done for the day. Let's see who's right behind him in the championship. Matt Taylor. So Matt Taylor looking to capitalize on the issue that Marquez had. Marquez 11.73 in points. Taylor 11.64. So Taylor looking to move forward in the championship by a spot. Jesper Orman 10.28. Uncle Rob 10.22. Will Weiser right at 1,000. And Heio Matsuda not in today's race, also right at 1,000. So we still got some championship implications in the mid-pack. But at the end of this race, Adam Blocker looking to seal yet another championship for the Dark Knight.
Yeah, it's starting to look very close for that happening. And, we're seeing right now that it's kind of like a little train, and they're not really trying to do anything.
No.
Just for context, Andrew Marquez is back on track. He's on his own, basically has absolutely no help, nobody around him. He's doing 41.9, 42 flat lap times around here. And he's in a damaged car. These guys, all of them, are doing either 42.3s all the way to 42.5s.
Yep.
So they are going super slow. And, the best lap time for most of these guys is on the 48, 49. So we're saving around a second and a half.
There you go.
More per lap. And that's because I did a quick math. They are going to be, from the moment that they enter pit road, they were going to be 5 laps short. 5 laps doesn't sound like a lot, but it is.
That's a ton to save. How hard is that to save 5 laps, even on an oval like this, Charlie?
I don't think you can pull off 5 laps. You'll have to sit behind traffic. You'll have to be in map 5, really counting on that draft. Jason out there in front just won't be able to pull it off without having draft. So that might be why we do see Jesper just kind of sitting behind and, taking that air. No one's really making moves at this point. It looks like everyone is in fuel save.
Here we have the graphic on the tree right now showing last lap speed. Brophy 2:14, Orman 2:13, Murphy 2:14, Brazil 2:14. All in the 2:14s. We were seeing 2:20s earlier in the race. We're off a good 6 miles per hour now in this fuel conservation portion.
Yeah, and if you see Marcus says, he's probably much faster than all these guys, although he's on his own. And the good thing is that it's 5 laps, but it's 2.5 laps per stint. That is doable. It is tough, and it's gonna be a little not super exciting because you just have to conserve fuel. Be on map 5, map 3 maybe if you're gonna make a move here and there, and just play with that throttle to make sure that you are not.
Demerit wants to race.
Although now they're getting racing.
Yeah, Demerit wants to race. He's like, I'm getting bored back there.
Same for Jacob. There he goes.
Yeah.
With the I5G guys.
I5G guys maybe made a combined call that said, time to go, time to go. Oh, I think Chris might have had a moment there in 3. Yeah, Jacob got a run on the high side. He had no place to go. Had to kind of roll out of it. And Jacob Oster to the lead.
That could also potentially be that he's happy with what he has saved.
Yeah, absolutely. There is a point you might just want to turn it on and go push through everything. It's a little bit more tough with those 3 cars wrecking out a handful of laps ago without that yellow being thrown. There's not a lot of extra cars on the track to potentially throw that yellow, so I wouldn't be counting on another yellow at this point if I were in the car.
Yeah. The only yellow I possibly could see coming is as we get into the last 2-3 laps, and then they're going to go 3-4 wide in the corners. That's where your yellow is going to come probably next, is when we get racy, really racy toward the end. Jacob and Jesper side by side coming on the exit of corner 4. Jesper had to lit up a little bit.
All right, so we're back to where we kind of started. Jacob
Blocker
and Bird
washed up high into 2, almost smacked the wall there a little bit. MAB is back to 8th.
makes it back Matt Taylor. Yeah, things are starting to pick up. Last time by, everybody was in the 41 half, around 41 and a half seconds. So already a second faster, and that's because the i5G guys decided, nah, we're gonna go. And then that pulls everybody.
We are at the halfway point here. Right about the halfway point, 42 and a half would get us there, yep. Now MAB up to 6th, riding the high line. Saw him riding high line in 1, riding the high line certainly in 3. Blocker giving him a lot of room on exit. Of course, the biggest monster that we all fear, especially when we are racing against cars that originate from an international ISP, is netcode. And so you do want to give, strategically might want to give, all Blocker really needs to do is finish this race. And he just needs, and he'll probably get this championship. But yeah, he'll want to give a lot of room not to get caught up in a netcode incident.
For sure. Yeah, and that sucks when it happens, you know, when you get caught up into something that is not even your doing or the other guy's doing. So it is always wise to give a little bit extra room if there is a little bit higher ping. But I see that Blocker is, you know, quite happy being there on the back of this pack. He's not really trying to do anything. Well, now he's going to prove me wrong by passing MAB because he washed up a tiny bit. But yeah, these three guys, Blocker, Brazil, Taylor, they're kind of happy right now, still riding. The only ones that are really going for it are at the front of the field, the i5G guys, plus Mark Murphy, and the Brophy is also trying to make some moves. Something happened here.
Looking in chat here, we got some cheering for Brazil. Got my old teammate Oscar Fredrickson there in chat.
It's been a minute since I heard that name.
Yeah, man. We got to get Oscar back in these cars. He'll be like, no, man, I'm done. I'm done.
Yeah, well, good to see you, Oscar. Thanks for joining.
I think he does a lot of flight simming now. He'll tell us here in chat. But, guys, really, in reality, though, driving these things in a flight sim is a lot in common.
Yeah, these are like fighter planes. Who said that, you know, there was like, somebody said that driving these cars was like flying jet planes at Bristol.
I could, well, if you were definitely have these things at Bristol, it wouldn't be like flying a fighter jet in the Coliseum, that's for sure. These things would do about 11-second laps. I know someone did one of the Formula One cars at Bristol and did a sub 10-second lap there.
Yeah. I can imagine it doing at least 12-second laps, which would be stupid.
And the great thing about IndyCar racing on iRacing is that, you know, you can race Indy cars at any place on the service. You can race them any place. But just because you can race Indy cars at Bristol doesn't mean you should.
You'd be surprised at the grip you have at Bristol with dirt.
Oh, really? Have you tried these with dirt?
Yep, it is surprisingly grippy. You can really get on the gas. They really stick to it. It is astonishing. That was close.
Yeah, you were I watched the same thing, Blocker and Orman.
Yeah, Orman backing out. Looks like trying to save that fuel. As we're getting close to folks getting ready to pit, I'm sure everyone's looking at their fuel consumption and trying to estimate what they need to just get through pit lane and get as much fuel back into the car as possible.
We'll give everyone 28 laps, everyone from Oster down to Brazil. 27 laps for Brophy, 27 laps for Olivier, and then Stearns and Marquez both in the 19 and 23 lap neighborhood, and that's mainly because of incidents they had. But they are 1 lap and 4 laps down, respectively. Not really in the battle, but can possibly make maybe Stearns can make up that lap here in the during the pit stop swap, and if there's a caution. But back up to the front here is Jacob Oster, the Worm Man.
Brophy making a slide jump just in front of Marco Aurelio Brazil, up to P6 now for Brophy. Yeah, I just noticed that Brophy finished well up later than all these other guys, so he's actually sitting pretty here. He's in the best field position of them all. And, we should start seeing them pit in the next 3 laps probably, depending on how much they were able to save. So
now we're all at about 30 laps on this current run. We're at lap 50 now. 35 to go. Oh, Brophy getting down on those rumble strips there in 3 to help the car rotate. Saw the car bounce a little bit. Maybe a little bit lower on those rumble strips than he wanted to be. 2x2, Jacob Oster and Christopher Demerit once again the lead, swapping that. They're not really putting much time between themselves and P3 Blocker, although it looks like Blocker and Murphy might also be playing the leapfrog game at the moment. Starting to see 2 packs of 2 now, 3 packs of 2.
Oster and Demerit, then Blocker and Murphy, and then Orman and Brazil, and then Orman and Brophy, sorry. And then Brazil and Taylor, they're kind of laid back a tiny bit more.
Yeah, all groups of 2, and then Olivier back there by themselves at the moment. But hey, you know what? Hey, that spot's got a bucket of popcorn and a Guinness there with them. They got the best seat in the house because if anything happens, they're just going to very capitalize greatly. So just keep everything in front of you, see what happens. That Taylor MAB battle has split up a little bit. I think MAB has decided to put the head down and try to run down Brophy, who's in 6th. Now these groups of 2 up at the front are all together again. Track temp is 88 degrees, ambient temperature 74. So pretty mild conditions all the way around. Light winds.
Yeah, which is what is allowed in this kind of racing, because if the track temperature was much higher, then it wouldn't be.
Murph got a good run, but no place to go on the high side. It's like Orman kind of split lanes there and wasn't going to let either one pass him.
Ooh, that was close.
Now that high side in turn 2, that wall comes up and greets you on exit really quick, doesn't it, boys?
Yes. Too often I've made contact there, just not expecting it. Getting too many laps in practice, staying low.
Oh, Brophy was forcing the issue there, trying to meet with Mark Murphy, kind of pushed him up the wall to get the draft from Orman, and now we're back into a single file.
Yeah, Murph was in that ERL race on Thursday as well. He had himself a good race. He was a top 5. Oster, Demerit, Team I5G, the Indy 500 group. Of course, getting closer to May. Those guys are probably getting all set for the various Indy 500s that we'll see. Actually, I will be on the ERL, our ERL broadcast, the Warriors for Peace, their IndyCar Indy 500 race there. And I'll get to join Mark James from the IndyCar Radio Network in the booth. So
cool.
Yeah, so I'll be. I asked what Mark's role is there. Like, what does he like to do? And they're like, well, he likes to give history and story about the track. And I go, so what I do? so I guess Mark James and I are going to be probably talking a lot. But pit stops are happening. This final stops look like they are happening right now. Oster and Demerit, the 2 teammates in together. And we'll see if they leave here together. I believe both of them got down to the 45-mile-per-hour pit road speed in time for the cones. Those cones here, guys, not like Indianapolis where they're set further down pit road. They are right there at the entrance. Oh, MAB is with them. So that pit road limiter, pit road speed, where you have to be at the limit, comes up on you really quick. All 3 of them almost identical stops. 9.4, Oster a 10-second stop, Demerit a 9.2-second stop. So Oster a little bit longer.
A few more in. Blocker and Taylor are the only ones staying out for, I would assume, 1 more lap.
Yeah, Orman, Brophy, Murphy, and Simone, they're all in.
So these guys, when they do pit, this is Taylor and Blocker, when they do pit, less fuel in the tank. So it should be a slightly shorter stop. Key is here, again, coming off turn 3, getting these cars woed down, getting on the limiter and to the pit road speed. By the time you get to these cones, right there. That is so hard.
A little bit of a lock up there for Blocker, but that's fine. He's going to get new tires. So that's it. Let's see where the merge happens. Right now, seems that it's advantage to the Merritt and Oster. They're ahead of Orman, Brophy, Brazil.
Here comes the battle for the lead after this, when we finally get this pit stop stint over. And we're watching right now to Merritt and to Oster, and then we'll see how they pop out in relation to Blocker and Taylor. And they are rolling. They were getting a wide shot here. They're not going to be up to speed, but they're going to be close.
Yeah, I think the Merritt, making it easily by Taylor, and now should be able to clear Blocker as well. But they're both going to be in this group. Oster got a little bit closer to the Merritt as they are swapping the lead. Yeah, now up to speed, Blocker is now P4.
Now, it is possible still that some of these cars, for a possible track position advantage, short-filled on this one even less than they probably should have, and they might still have to do some saving or wanting a late caution. So there's still that possibility. There's Orman to the lead. There's still that possibility out there. We don't know all the strategies. So I would not say everybody 100% is completely good to go, because I know that third strategy of short filling, not enough to get to the end under a full burn, but hoping that for a caution, that might exist as a possibility with these guys. There you see 1st through 7th all lined up on your screen. Battle for position, direct contact with each other. Starting to sneak up back into the picture again, Mark Murphy. Not the greatest pit stop, but he is going to be able to regain this field through the draft. But he also still might be saving. He maybe did what we thought, what I just said, that second or third strategy going on here.
I would imagine that they're good to go. They all did a great job saving for around 34, 35 laps maybe, and now they're good to go. If you do a short field, then you're going to be a little bit short, like the name implies. But I wouldn't imagine doing that right now, because you're going to want to be all out.
So Oscar is asking for a story for this track. The biggest story and still the biggest crime for this track is this track was purpose-built for Indy cars, and that Indy cars no longer race here. The reason that the track was built after 3 famous IndyCar tracks, not 3 famous NASCAR tracks, 3 famous IndyCar tracks, 3-way battle for the lead. Look at that, boys. Take her easy. Woo! Tight. Skill set at map 10 there for everybody.
A lot of respect being given. 3 wide into turn 1, 3 wide into turn 2.
Oster up super high, yeah. But yeah, this track was purpose-built for IndyCar racing. And the fact that Indy cars are no longer racing here anymore, I suspect at some point they're going to come back. There were safety issues. Now, what we saw with Robert Wickens getting up into the catch fence, that I believe is the main safety issue. Ooh, Taylor, a little squirrely coming off of 1. Going to give up some ground to Oster there. But the Justin Wilson incident here, and the death of Justin Wilson, wasn't by the wall, wasn't by the catch fence. It was Sage Karam getting up, unfortunately, in turn 2 while wrecking, and his one of his half shafts from his rear suspension, or from his rear transmission, came out, and made contact with Justin. And really, if we had maybe the halo or the aero screen saves lives now, maybe that doesn't happen with the halo or the aero screen. So. And the other incident, which was that big wreck caused by Sato going to turn 2, which he got penalized for. He was in the wrong. That's the kind of stuff that they really needed to avoid. And the reason why I think they had both those wrecks is that they were both on restarts or very early in the race when the tires were still good, that everyone was still close, and they're trying to make position. But it was like near impossible in the early IR18 days to pass here.
Oh, flag.
And maybe cartwheel down the front straight.
Oh my God, MAB sealed cartwheel.
Over end.
Oh.
So let us rewind this in the Wayback Machine and see what happened. Let's go back a little bit further, and I want to get a larger, farther shot here. So here's MAB. He is in the center of your screen between Demerit there and the green and black car, or the aqua and black car, and Mark Murphy and the red, yellow, and black car. So we'll watch.
That is...
and he makes contact with Murph.
Yeah, and Murph actually apologized that, he did kind of take him out.
Yeah, I mean, they were racing there, right? Murphy had a run coming into 3. He took the inside there. Definitely drifted up a bit higher, I would imagine, than he was expecting. And then, front right to rear left, the loser there is the rear tire getting tapped.
Yep. Let's see this. Full speed. See how quickly it happens. Starts washing out. He's up to the 4th gear. He knows he's going to have a problem. He's out of the throttle. And the contact made, unfortunately. And we are under caution here. So no longer, if there was any fuel conservation happening, that is no longer an issue now.
No longer the case at all. Yeah, I mean, we saw that he was.
Everyone grabbed.
Yeah, everyone going to go for those extra set of tires here, maybe to even top off the tank. I don't know. There are no tire limits here in the Open Series, so as they say, smoke them if you got them. They are going to come in and use them.
And that's also going to benefit Will Stearns there, who was currently P9. He was 1 lap down. He's going to take the wave around. He's going to be making it back to the lead lap.
Yeah, and let's for people watching at home to explain the wave around. It's a IndyCar rule, not exactly like the lucky dog of NASCAR, but and so therefore kind of lacks the gimmicky of what you see with NASCAR. Anybody with NASCAR, if you're the first car 1 lap down, no matter where you are in relation to the leader, provided that you weren't part of or caused the caution, you will get a wave around and get automatically back on to the next lap up or lead lap. It always goes to the first car highest with multiple laps down. So if let's say you have everyone's on a lead lap and the next car is 2 laps down, then that car, okay. I hope everyone understands that. But in IndyCar, if you stay out, first of all, the pace car always picks up the leader. If the leader and everyone behind the leader pits and someone stays out, such as a case of Stearns, he then is now behind the pace car. He might have the option this next lap coming in because he was down. Which we might see him when he's down low on the pace track and racetrack, and he might be going to pit road this time by. If he stays out at 1 to go before green, he will get what they call the wave around. He will pass the pace car and join the back of the field before they come back around and take green the next time. That allows the leader, who earned the opportunity to bring the field down to green flag, it'll give the leader the opportunity to do that because they've earned it by virtue of being the leader. So he is staying out. We're going to see the wave around here momentarily, but as an IndyCar rule, some people really don't understand that. Now, if there's 2 cars that stay out that are behind the pace car that are in front of the leader, does that second car get the wave around? Yes, they do. Everybody behind the pace car up to the leader gets the wave around, then the leader will resume the lead right there. Hopefully I explained that without confusing anybody any more absolutely than I had to.
I'm confused. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah, I was about to say, I know I did my job badly. Yeah, so.
No, I'm kidding. No, I think that was a great explanation. That's exactly what it is. You get a lap back, and it's not gimmicky like the way that it happens in NASCAR. So something else that I was looking at is Mark really didn't have any damage on his car from that incident with Marco. It looked like, he washed up, we saw that, and he immediately apologized. But it was more on a net coat kind of deal. They didn't really touch, and I don't see any damage on that front wing. And then he went into the pit, so he's good to go. Mark is. So, we still have a a lot of takers here that can potentially fight for that win.
Riding with Adam Blocker right now, watching the Maestro at work as he is bringing his car up to temperature, bringing his tires up to temperature. Basically, he's in first gear, gunning it, pulling alongside Brophy, falling back, gunning it, falling back, gunning it.
Well, the strategy changes here with this caution. Everyone was fuel saving, probably was looking good to the end of the race, but you might want to try and burn an extra liter as we're coming to the green.
I think there was some of that going on, and he might have been doing that without damaging the engine. A lot of people will put it, clutch it, and then gun it, and that will do it, but that will also make your engine very hot. Getting ready to go green, coming to lap 66. Brophy is your leader. Brophy won the 500-miler in the ERL on Thursday here. His team swept the top 3 positions on the Monday open race here. Green flag, riding along with Adam Blocker, chasing down Jason Brophy.
19 to go, and funny, Jesper Orman was asking if anybody wanted to be his teammate on this last stint of the race.
Blocker to the inside, going into 2. Put the Dark Knight and Power Slide up to the lead, coming into 3. We'll watch how which line he chooses. Up high. The full lane and a half on the bottom. Brophy, that's why he's a lane and a half on the bottom, because Brophy's there. Back on the main straight. Back in the draft. To the inside comes Blocker. Side by side coming into 1. Down low, which you didn't see. There's Jesper Orman. Orman to the lead for the moment.
And now 3 wide again. It's Brophy now to the inside.
All right, boys, this is where we hold our breath. 3 wide into the tunnel turn.
And that also made a move all the way to the inside. He's going to get a great position there.
And Jesper's kind of blocked in there. He has no place to go.
This has also been just such a great example of how taking the inside when you're going wide, the other car just has more room to cover on those outside lines.
Going into 1. Yeah.
What a move there by Jesper. It was a little on the risky side. It makes it work. Back to the lead. And now I think it's going to be Brophy again on the 2 wide. Yes, indeed.
And we're going to go 3 wide again. Holding breath on the exit of 2. Whoa, everyone did a good job there. The problem with 2, going 3 wide, you're going to run out of room, first of all. But if there's multiple cars in front of you and you're going 3 wide further in the pack, is that you're going to get the dirty air of one of those cars. Jesper up the middle, Blocker down low. Side by side, mid-corner. Exit is going to be Blocker for the moment.
The Warman Jacob Usser was all the way to the top. They could have easily been 4 wide there. Brophy now making it 3, entering the tunnel turn. Back to the point. Interesting thing that Blocker did there. He didn't give the entire inside to Orman. He actually gave the middle lane, because then he knew that he was going to get a better exit, and that actually worked for him that last time by. Now he's the 3rd car in line. Is he going to pull out and make it 3 wide?
Jockeying for position. Blocker's like, I'm going to go send it. Down low.
Yep. To the lead, Blocker.
Matt Taylor getting involved here. Demerit, Murphy, Olivier, a little bit further on back. It's the front row seat here. So really, ideally, we're watching 8-car battle here for the win. But right now, the top 5 in direct contact.
Oster seems to be unwilling to join that 3 wide party going on up front, but with Matt Taylor joining, it'd be interesting to see if he's wanting to press it and join the 3 wide, make it 4.
He was close to making it happen there. It was not clear. Now he's going to drop back a little bit.
Yeah, he's going to be to the inside, and he's got a lack of draft there to help him out. Now he's going to have dirty air in front of him going into the corner. That's not going to help, but he's got his teammate to the outside, so you got to give that guy room, got to concede a little bit. So Jacob goes all the way from the top 3 back to P6. any other racetrack, maybe other than maybe Michigan or Fontana, that's a problem. But not here, or Michigan or Fontana. That's what I meant. You could draft yourself back up to the front if you're in close contention, which he is. He's up high. He goes, Murphy, Taylor goes high, and Oster goes higher, and Taylor to the inside wall.
No. Yeah, my Taylor. That's not going to bring out a caution, but yeah.
Well, let's see what happened. I was calling it, though. I saw him going high, and Taylor was like, nope, I'm going to go high, and Oster was like, no, I'm going higher. And then Taylor, problem is, he's going to have bad air from blocker, and he washed right up.
You know what's the worst part is it was netcode. I mean, Jacob did bounce off the wall a tiny bit, but that was Marcus netcode, and that kicked Matt Taylor to the inside. Such a shame for the Madworks team. Both cars out in incidents that had nothing to do with them. They were just victims.
Yeah, they are... one of the power teams of the Lionheart IndyCar Series, which is taking 2024 off. So you'll see a lot more of them in the official races.
Well, and Matt, unfortunately, it looks like he could have saved that even with the wall coming up, but that drainage ditch just there, right at the exit of one, unsettled the car, scraping on the bottom, and he just is in the wall. There's nothing he could have done. He had no control of the car.
Now Jacob's going 3 wide.
And yeah, you're right, Charlie. That part would.
Stay down. Jacob. Oh, he knew he was in trouble, boys. You could kind of see it there.
We're in the racy part of everyone's done with fuel saving. Absolutely done with fuel saving. There's 10 laps to go as we come to the line. It's going to continue to remain wild.
And if this race finishes as it does, and when IR is going to be awarded, suspect that Olivier here is going to have a great bit of IR delivered to them. They are the 15th ranked car in this 17 car race. So this is the lowest ranked car right now, and they're in contention for the win.
Trophy to the inside. Yeah, no, that's going to be a great pain-up day for Simonu and also for Stearns. I had the mark here that would be winning. If Simonu would finish 6th, which he is right now, he would win 75 iRating.
That's a nice payday. That's a nice payday.
The Merit going all the way to the inside, making it 3 wide.
We're gonna see that's going to be common here for the remainder of this race. Oster up high again. He's going to try to get the win on Brophy. Brophy's put just enough of a car there that he couldn't quite complete the full momentum pass. He does have his teammate up. Oster on the high side again. No. Oh.
I think Mr. Excitement of today goes to Jacob.
And here comes Olivier. He's like, boys, it's time to race. Send to go. Let's go.
When Oster tapped the wall right there, just going to add a little bit of tire wear, a little percentage hit there. It doesn't look like it slowed him down much, but always taking the high line outside of 1 and 3.
You know what? I'm going to keep my camera on Oster. 2x2 here. They're going 3 wide now for P3. Oster has
9 to go. 9 to go. We're going 3 wide into 2. Turn 2, tunnel turn. That's where the main entrance for the infield is at Pocono Raceway here. Used to be a big bump there as the track wore down. The tunnel infrastructure started to kind of cause the the racetrack to buckle there. Going to go 4 wide in the 1 here, boys.
Almost 4. Almost.
Oster taking first out of that.
And so it got really bumpy there, especially for the Indy cars in the late 90s. That's why it stopped coming here. Is that the track was so under ill repair in the late 80s. Excuse me, Indy cars. It would shake fillings loose in mouths if it could. It was that rough. And the walls were extremely hard because they were boilerplate backed by cement.
The Merit taking a great run there. He should be able to maybe make it to the inside. Not sure if
Brophy to the front. Speaking of Brophy, we've got Glindy in chat. Glindy's got him. Go get him, Brophy. That's Kyle. He's on our network as well. He'll be joining me tomorrow for the Vord EW12 Championship race at Indianapolis.
Oh, that car right in front of the leaders.
Okay, that is Stearns. And he is trying like mad to stay on the lead lap. So he got the wave around. And he might be fuel managing here today. And he might also have a damaged car, too.
No, actually, he went into the pits right after he got the wave around the green drop. So he's good on fuel, but...
he's turning 41-second laps while everyone behind him is turning 40-second laps.
I would have gone and taken my car out of the way of the leaders, honestly, but...
I think he will. Well, they're a nice place about Pocono. There are places where you can duck out if you need to. Stearns to the inside. And I think he hit that bump that we were talking about and sent him to the wall. Oh, Oster. So
that is unfortunate. 6 to go, by the way. And I'm not sure. I think Murph might actually have some damage because
he does. He's struggling to keep up with that, and actually Olivier has pulled away and has joined this battle. So Olivier's sixth, top six for the battle here. Closing laps, Pocono Raceway, 5 to go. Oster to the inside.
Blocker seems to be running a very smooth race. Everyone else seems to be getting racy around Adam Blocker. And Blocker just trying to
Olivier to the top side and around the Merritt.
Yeah, I was just watching the Merritt. He got super tight under, I think it was Brophy, and luckily he was able to save it, but he lost a ton of time. In the meantime, rewind again. And yeah, Charlie, to add to what you were saying, that's right. Everybody seems to be kind of like on rails and like super aggressive, and Blocker is smooth, really smooth.
He's in the battles, but he's not throwing hands until we'll see he's taking the inside here into 2, making it 3 wide and coming out ahead there.
3 of the power teams, Power Slide, I5G. Private label, Team Hype, IAR now involved. 4 power teams up here. Independent, Olivier Semino.
And Merritt behind him.
Merritt, I5G. Mark Murphy, Race First, Little Legal Racing. Orman back in the battle to the bottom, to the lead. 3 wide for second behind him. Now, Blocker, definitely you could tell he's an engineer. He's a very tactician in mind. Does work for Semino. He probably should not be doing that. I believe if he's got the meatball, he has 5 laps to answer it. He might be in that window where he doesn't have to answer it. But somebody might be able to protest that. But just be careful when you do that, folks. Just be careful.
Or grabbing some wall there. Closer at a time. Yeah. Orman now 4 tenths ahead, but they should be able to close that gap with the draft. But with a lap to go, that is rough to make a 4-tenth gap with
Blocker. Cuts down, had a run. He wasn't going to let up on it. Blocker with the run to bottom, 3 wide now with Brophy. Blocker, an engineer on the Juncos Hollinger IndyCar team. Here comes Oster.
Brophy now doing a little bit of a block here.
Oster could not get his nose any closer to Blocker's rear attenuator.
Still blocked it. Ooh, now got the inside there.
He heard clear and he took it. And now we're going to 3 wide and Brophy's going to hear, you're in the middle.
And just for Orman on the outside also.
Final lap, boys. White flag in the air. Oster's fought his way, and now he's doing a defensive run, and this is wise because they're racing for second behind him. Brophy's going to take a look to the outside going into 2. Side by side, I5G, Team Hype, private label. Or private label team hype. Here comes Power Slide to the inside with Blocker. IAR on the outside. A 4 wide power team struggle. Turn 3 coming to the victory here at Pocono. Blocker to the apron. Blocker, your winner.
What a move by Blocker, just taking the middle there in 2 and then holding the inside coming into 3. He just absolutely had it. There wasn't a draft behind him. 3, just such a tight corner. A really great win there by Adam Blocker.
Blocker over Oster by 0.084 of a second. Brophy back from that battle for third, 0.118. Jesper Orman back from the wind, 0.212. Can't get much closer than that, boys, for four spots there, covering the front there with the blanket.
Man, what a race and what a run to the line. As there's the attenuator party, Volkswagen entering pit stop. Yeah, no, what a race and what a move from Blocker. Like, and Charlie, I think you called it out. I mean, we saw that he was being like the more calm one, and it seemed like very, very cool and level-headed. And he just came kind of out of nowhere to take them into 3, and with a great move, he was able to keep and hold them off. Realistically, any of these guys could have won that race. They were all making great moves and being part of the conversation and the fights during the entire race. What a good way to bookend a season of open IndyCar series. And Blocker's going to be your champion here.
Yep. Perfect donuts there on the front straight by Blocker. Blocker wins the battle and the war. He is your winner and champion of the IndyCar Series for this season. And of course, we'll catch the IndyCar Series open races, not a full season, but a partial season again on RACEWEAR starting next season as well. But Blocker, your winner. Oster second, Brophy third, Orman fourth, Demert fifth. Simoneau, great run by them. P6. Simoneau started, up 6 spots there. So worked their way through the field through a lot of that carnage. Finishes 6th. Murphy 7th. Stearns 8th. Marquez 9th. Taylor 10th. And maybe 11th. Vasquez 12th. Santos 13th. Ike 14th. Craig 15th. And Uncle Rob 16th. And the gas man Nelson Messiah 17th. Unfortunately, majority of the field taken out by, just issues on the racetrack, unfortunately. So I wish more cars would have finished, but that's just the nature of the beast. Really, only 7 cars were on the lead lap here at the end. And then we had, I believe, Stearns and Marquez were still running to finish this race out. So 17 cars, 7 on the lead lap, 9 running at the end.
But, you don't need like a super huge field to make a race entertaining. Because, with only 7 cars or 8 cars at one point, we had one of the best races that I remember calling for RACEWEAR. That was a real a lot of fun.
We've had some great races this week between the IndyCar Oval Series, also known as Indy Fixed, and then, of course, the IndyCar Series, also known as Indy Open. I don't think we could ask for 2 better races, certainly with the strength of field at a 45 and a 44. 44 with the Indy Oval, and then 45 here tonight or this afternoon with the IndyCar Series. Let's see who might be in chat here. We can bring them on up. Make sure to like, share, subscribe, do all this good stuff for us to show us appreciation for the drivers in this race. Thanks for all those that have popped in the chat as well. Don't forget, today is the last day to donate for our broadcast fund for the this partial season of Indy Open. Link is in the description. And then, of course, we also want to thank the guys at 4D RACEWEAR for their season-long sponsorship. They will not be going forward with us on the Indy Open side of things, but they have been great supporters of RACEWEAR and IndyCar racing on iRacing in general. So let's see what we got here. We got Jacob the Warm Man. Here we will go ahead and bring him on up. And then if Brophy and Blocker pop in, we'll bring them up as well. So, Jacob, congratulations. As close as it can be. P2 there. Not a bad week for you between Michigan and here. Talking to us about your race, seemed like there was a portion in the middle where everyone was just kind of trying to save fuel, and then a last caution happened. Everyone comes in, tops off, and we're racing to the end.
Yeah, no, I kind of threw that one away. I thought I would be able to pinch Blocker a little bit more on corner, but the amount of runs we had there at the end, like this combo with the track temps, it's quite insane. I don't know if I would call it fun. It's nerve-wracking to say the least. fact that we have 7 cars stacked on top of each other all the time. But it has been a good week. This should probably put me up into P3 for Open Championship, which I'm quite proud of considering I've never really tried for that. We lost Fix, but we'll try again next season, and hopefully this car has some changes coming in the next week or so, and that improve the racing aspects on tracks like this.
Well, P2 and Fixed and P3 and Open is, nothing to be upset about, is it?
I would like it to be a 1.
Hey, Jacob, and I know it might not be super fun to drive, but at least it's very, very fun to watch.
Yeah. Yeah, we had 2 spotters looking. They're like, "Oh, this is going to be great," and we're like, "No, it's not."
we were actually calling you Mr. Excitement throughout the race. You were taking that super, super top line entering 1, and you also, I think, kind of grabbed the wall a tiny bit entering 3. How did that upset the car? Anything at all?
No, the way the damage model works right now, if you scrape the wall like that, it's not worth too much unless you pound it. But I've gotten pretty good at running the wall over the last couple years. And I feel like I can do it just about as well as anybody, especially like run half the lane higher. But here there was not a lot of dirty air. It was only really got you on entry. If someone was right in front of you and then moved, that's whenever you would start to have a lot of pushing. But it was interesting. We were able to make moves. I'd go from 4th out of turn 3 into turn 1 in P1 and then keep it into turn 2. But like it's a different type of racing, I guess you could say, and I don't know if I like it that much.
Well, a great week, and I know you want that one extra spot, and something tells me sometime in the near future you're going to get that extra spot. I really have zero doubts there. But I know that you're coming into an exciting part of the year here. May's coming up. That's big for your team. So go ahead. I know that you got some folks on your team you want to thank, some sponsors, friends, family. Go right ahead. The microphone is yours, sir.
Well, thanks to Chris for running the race. I know he got top 5, so he got 2 iRatings, so it's a positive day. But AJ Burden and Christian Steele were in our ears, giving us words of encouragement and seeing that, oh my gosh, this looks so cool. And then the rest of the team, it's coming down to crunch time. It's 3 months as of yesterday whenever we rolled the 500 for the first time in 2 years. So I look forward to not finishing second there again and finishing first this time.
So 2024, the year of finishing first now for Jacob, the Worm Man Oster, the New York. Maybe it's his New Year resolution. He just didn't know it quite yet. But congratulations on the podium today. Congratulations on the podium in this championship and in the IndyCar Oval Series championship. And we really, really look forward to seeing you in more races, whether it be IIS, IndyCar Oval, or the IndyCar Series going forward next season. So congratulations and best of luck, and enjoy the off week.
Thank you guys for broadcasting this season.
No problem. All right, so let's bring up Jason Brophy. Hey, Jason, you're in the booth here with Charlie, Antonio, and myself. So we were talking about how many laps you put in at Pocono this week. 85 on Monday, 200 on Thursday, another 85 today, not including what you did in practice. Maybe 600 laps here over the last couple weeks, maybe?
I think that's probably pretty accurate. Yeah, I think all told, I probably put in like 250 laps of practice because a lot of Q testing, and the race set I'm pretty comfortable with. I want to say it was maybe 100 to 120 laps, so something like that.
Are you tired of the place yet, though?
Man, honestly, the racing here, it was a little colder than I'd like. A little warmer might be okay, but it's fun. And racing people you can trust and throw haymakers out back and forth. Couldn't control it nearly as well as we did Monday, but hey, that's the way it goes. Still end up in the same spot for me. So yeah, it was fun, trusting the people you're around. I made a few mistakes. Like, it was aggressive racing, but it was mostly clean. So, I enjoyed it, but I probably won't be running another one this week.
Well, you at least went 3 for 3 on podiums this week, so yeah, there's that. Before we let you go, though, any shout outs, anybody you want to say hi to, and we'll let you on your way and let you enjoy the rest of this Saturday?
I want to thank my team, private label team Hype. Obviously, Phil, Connor helped me with the set. We helped test the set and a lot of bump drafting. Not something you can do in the race, but in practice, things just get silly. I worked with, Adam we were working together at the end there really well. Obviously, he won the race. I kind of knew off 2 that it was over when he dropped low. Once he got the inside to 3, it was over. So, but happy with the 3rd. Jacob, Chris, a lot of fun racing everybody this week. So.
Well, there you have it. Congratulations. Good to see you here on the Saturday split. Hope you see you more in fixed, and hope to see you more in the IIS as well. And I know I will be seeing more of you here in the upcoming ERL broadcast as well. So we'll be probably doing a lot of TV time together. So congratulations, and we'll catch you later.
Yeah, thank you.
All right, and let's bring up the winner, Adam Blocker. Adam, you're here in the booth. We got Antonio and Charlie Sears. So you are the victor of the battle and the victor of the war. Congratulations on the win, and congratulations on the, it appears that you got the IndyCar Series championship. I would say pretty close to being in the bag especially after this strength of field race.
Yeah, thanks. It was a really good race. Really good, strong SOF. And yeah, it was just one of those races where, we went through a lot of different phases. We had a crazy fuel save at one point, the whole pack going slow, and
Yep.
and then we quickly transitioned to basically going as hard as we could and going almost 3 wide like twice a lap. Which yeah, it's at the end of the day, there's some luck involved with winning something like that. All you can do is kind of control that you're going to have a chance. So
the guys were commenting in the broadcast that kind of your approach to everything seemed very, very smooth. Did you have any moments out there? I mean, it looked like everything was kind of just under control, just biding our time, waiting for the blocker moment to occur when he takes off and seals the deal. I mean, did you have any close moments out there, or was it just pretty smooth sailing and it just seemed like total chaos? Maybe you were the calm in the eye of the storm and everything, and the chaos was happening around you. I don't know. What's your thoughts?
I had a couple of 0Xs, but they weren't that bad. I had maybe one time somebody got real tight below me, but really there wasn't really that many close moments for how the racing was. And yeah, most of the race I was trying to be patient, and then at the end I just wanted to stay in the top 3, and I didn't really need to do any super aggressive moves to stay there or to take the lead, because it didn't really matter. I didn't think the lead mattered until the last couple laps. So
True.
and yeah, I was prepared to do something really aggressive in the last couple laps, but I didn't really need to. As it turned out, I was kind of surprised they gave me the bottom into 3, but they did. So
well, extended mic time for you here. Shout outs and everything. You got the championship, you got the win. Take all the time you need. The microphone is yours, sir. You've definitely earned it.
Yeah, I just want to thank y'all for covering the second half of this series once we got the IndyCar rights and everything back. And yeah, looking forward to next season. And yeah, I just want to thank everybody at Powerslide for all the work. And just want to thank Jason. We kind of worked together in this particular race. So yeah, yeah, it was a good one. And yeah, see y'all in next season.
There you have it. Today's.
Go
ahead, Antonio.
Just before we let you go, I'm just wondering if you're going to be taking part on the IndyCar iRacing Tour or IndyCar iRacing Series, or whatever it's called now.
Series. I've been told it's now they've gone from tour back to series.
Okay, back to series. So, are you going to be taking part in the IndyCar iRacing Series?
I might do some of the Wednesday night U.S. races, but beyond that, for the most part, obviously all the series races are during real life weekends. So
yeah.
He's a working man, Antonio.
I know. That's why I was wondering.
All right. Well, we look forward to seeing you, though, and whatever you can make, though. We understand that you got your hands full going forward, and a lot of us are, of course, pink with envy because you do get the chance to work with the real Indy cars. But best of luck there as well in the opening season there for Yukos Hollinger.
Yep, thanks.
Yeah, best of luck, man.
Oh, there you go, guys. Charlie, first time in the booth. You're obviously soaking it in, obviously. Tell us your thoughts here on first time here and your first race being a 4.5 strength of field oval race at Pocono.
No, it was great to just see the race unfold. There's a lot of great racing in there. I honestly expected a few more cautions. There were probably the amount of wrecks maybe we were expecting, but not as many flags flown out of that. But it was some great close racing. Like everyone said in the interview, like being able to trust the folks next to you and kind of throw it in and, you know, let it all unfold and know that you're going to get that respect that we saw on track was fantastic.
Well, next week is Sebring, and we talked when we privately were talking, kind of bringing you on the program, kind of road racing is your thing, and Sebring should be right down your alley. Thoughts of our kickoff IIS broadcast next week at Sebring, 100% length races.
That is going to be a long race. It is going to really allow strategy to play a larger role than the shorter races where you're looking at 3 stops. So it's going to be great. Sebring is a fast track with, you know, a few technical sections that are really going to let different approaches to the setup and to the length of that race really start to shine.
Well, Antonio, this is it for us, kind of covering the Open Series on a regular basis. We'll be covering Open Series races here and there, kind of bonus coverage, bonus SOF races for the community as we're now in IIS season. I know you're happy to be back, but your thoughts on being back, how this championship shaped out, and going into IIS going forward?
Man, yeah, you know, first of all, psyched to be back, to be wrapping up another season, and to be looking forward to what's to come. You know, IIS, and once the IndyCar, the real life IndyCar season is on, well, we're gonna be back to doing Open.
Yep.
And hopefully we can keep doing this over and over. Yeah, the championship itself, you know, it was great. These drivers, these teams, they really put in the work. They really put in the hours, and you can tell when somebody has hit it on the mark on the setup. And you know, it really allows for them to shine, plus to showcase their driving talent. So, you know, this series is great, and for the, you know, next week when we go to IndyCar, the Indy Series full-on thing, that's just going to exacerbate that. We're going to see a little bit more of that, and most of the races are going to be, you know, we're going to see the entire strategy play out. And since we don't have cautions on road courses, well, it's going to be even more organic in that way. So yeah, really looking forward to that. Also really looking forward to having Charlie helping us out on the roadside kind of thing, because we always mention that we are really bad at it. So having a ringer, that's going to help out. And yeah, no, man, looking forward to next week, and happy to have been here, and appreciate everyone that's been joining today and every single week to watch us and to support us and to support the drivers and support the partnership between IndyCar and iRacing.
That's why I do the play-by-play, because I am not the driver expert. So that is it for today. Once again, your podium for Pocono is Adam Blocker with the win by 0.84 seconds over Jacob Oster and 0.118 seconds over Jason Brophy. Join Antonio, Charlie, and myself again next week for round 1 of the IndyCar iRacing Series as a year-long campaign kicks off its 2024 season at Sebring. Our next IndyCar Series race will be on, and that's the Open Series. It's called the IndyCar Series. That's not to confuse names, but will be on March 16th. Coverage for the IIS race will begin around the same time, 1 p.m. Eastern. That's 1 p.m. Eastern. Coverage for week 1 of the IndyCar Series race on March 16th will be at 2, because we're having a time change in between that. Don't worry, if it's confusing, you can find everything you need right here at youtube.com/racefirst. Hey, we love bringing these races to you, but not easy and require time and money to produce. Because of your generosity and donations, we've been able to bring you many races of the IndyCar Open Series nearly commercial free. If you share our passion for the sport of IndyCar, and we know you do, and have enjoyed our coverage of the 4D RACEWEAR Saturday IndyCar Open Series Top Split, please take time to go visit our GoFundMe page. The link is in the description, and donate to our 2024 broadcast fund. Today is the last day to give for the Indy Open season. We realize times are tough, so any contribution will be greatly appreciated. appreciated. We thank you for watching and making this a part of your Saturday afternoons each and every week. Now, as you know, the YouTube algorithm game is not easy, so please help support RaceVerse with the weekly grind. Leave a comment below. So, very active chat. We want to thank everybody in there, including Don Blocker, who popped in, Kyle Clinsworth, Clindy popped in there, Oscar popped in there, AJ Musselman was in there, Uncle Rob was in there. I want to thank everybody for making a comment. You can always help by leaving a comment after the fact. If you want to leave a comment after the race, you can. And if you enjoyed today's coverage, support us by smashing like in the video. And if you're new, click subscribe and right ahead and hit the bell for weekly reminders so don't miss out more of Race versus other iRacing programming. And we got a lot of it. And it's almost every night of the week you'll find something going on iRacing here on RaceVerse. Keep your browser set here for the most in-depth IndyCar knowledge and all of iRacing. RaceVerse, we know what Indy means. RaceVerse Saturday IndyCar Open Top Split naming rights are paid for by the final time by 4D RACEWEAR. Check out their made-for sim racing line of gloves, shoes, and apparel. Visit them today at 4dracewear.com. Click on their link in the today's description. And we want to thank Jim Herrick and the guys at 4D RACEWEAR for supporting us for this Indy Open campaign. For business inquiries to learn more about RaceVerse and what we do, visit raceverse.com, like us on Facebook, or follow us on Twitter. Here's our partial Twitter handles here at the bottom of the screen. Charlie, you got anything on Twitter?
No, I don't. Nothing to share, so we're all good.
No, we're good there. Okay, so no social media for Charlie. But here's all of our handles right here. Feel free to follow us. So for Antonio Estrada, Charlie Sears, everyone at RaceVerse, I'm Gary Gotza saying all good night or good day, and thanks for watching, and all our men and women serving in the military and as first responders. Godspeed. God bless. Come home safe. Catch us again right here next week for our kickoff of the IndyCar iRacing Series at Sebring. Good night.